Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. Okay, today I'm gonna cover a comment that was sent into us, and it's a pretty serious comment. I mean, it's like almost 2 complete pages. It's almost like Wayne wrote here a doctoral thesis. But there's a couple really phenomenal observations he made about his learning process of learning the Surge swing, and I think that's the reason why I'm going to read excerpts from it. We're not going to do the whole thing because it'll take too long to read it. I mean, the first time I read it and dissecting it and trying to get grasp of where he was going, I must have took 20 minutes to read it, and reading parts over and over. But it's so good, and it's made, as I said, Wayne made some really great points about the learning process. So let's start off. Wayne says, I have been working with the PPGS for over 2 years and am committed to it. Recently I learned from one of your lessons that a fundamental mistake I have been making is holding the club too close to the body. Alright, so I'm going to skip off. I'm going to just say that much of the first paragraph. I'm going to go to the second paragraph now. He says, the major problem I have always had is in the takeaway and lift to the top of the swing, the back upswing. In your instruction, you always teach this is not a two-piece swing, i.e. first the turn, and second the lift. My problem is that when I endeavor to perform the BUS composing of the turn and the lift, it always seems to be in 2 components or pieces to me. In order to simplify it for myself, I developed a new technique for the BUS that seems like it might work and which I think allows me to accomplish all the things you want to happen during the course of the back upswing, the BUS. Since what I am about to tell you has never, to my knowledge, been a basis for your instruction for the BUS, and it is simple, I believe there must be something wrong with it. And if so, I need to know what that is so I don't continually repeat it in my efforts to perform the BUS correctly. Okay, I got to pause here. That's the first major issue, or the major point that I think that needs to be addressed here. He thinks he's doing it right, but he's scared that it's wrong. I can understand that, and that's one of the biggest problems that we can have in learning something, and that's why I say many times that when you listen to what I say and you look at my swing, you can't unfortunately feel exactly what I'm feeling in my body and sensing what I'm feeling in my mind, and that's why I try to always talk, so to speak, I would say in generalities, so that overall, it's a basic, simple explanation of what I want, and you have to translate it to yourself. Now, in this case, and I've heard people say, I'm scared of that I might be doing it wrong. Well, in the end, if you're somewhat feeling what I'm saying, and you're starting to make better swings and hit better shots, and what's a better shot? More solid, consistently solid, making a better swing, and hitting it more consistently straight where you want it to go, or the shot, the pattern that you like, then therefore, the results are somewhat, I guess, proof positive that you're making a correct movement, and so now you have to figure out that feeling, and work it to yourself. That's why I've said over and over, many times the most dangerous instruction to read is written by tour professionals, because you know that they, in many cases, they spoke to a writer. And they talked to the guy, he took his notes, and then he wrote it for them, and he put in his little nuances. But many times what you could go look at pictures of and comments about tour players in their books, or when they write articles, and you look at what they say they're doing and what they're feeling they're doing, and look at the pictures, and they don't jive if you really look at the pictures closely. All right? And it's not even close what they're saying and what they're feeling. And so that's the proof positive that what you feel sometimes might be difficult to articulate to somebody else, or at least if you articulate what you feel you're doing, but it really isn't what you're doing. So we got that dilemma here, all right, that can really cause a problem. So ultimately, you need to take all the words that I say and the pictures and look at the videos, if you watch me and DJ swing and watch other Surgites who are swinging pretty good and hitting it correctly, and translate that to yourself. And the proof of the pudding, as they say, is the swing more consistent, the hits more consistent, and your shots that you're hitting more consistent. So I just want to caution about, just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong. the results are telling you what's going on. Wayne then goes on to run through all the points that I say about everything for the in the back upswing, as he calls it, and he goes through about 6 or 8 points on that, just almost verbatim, having memorized what the points that I say. I don't go through all those points in my swing. I just do it. I just set the feeling in my mind and do it, and that's what you got to get to. He goes on to say, in order to do all this and avoid any two-piece swing thoughts, i.e. turn and lift, my only swing thought is to swing the club with my arms only, taking the club head along the vertical plane of the target line as well as possible until completion of the swing at the top of the backswing and the start of the bump. He goes on to say, in doing this, the 70-degree shoulder turn and minimal body turn happen automatically and complete the takeaway. If I continue to perceive that I move the club head on the vertical plane of the target line after the takeaway is completed, then the lift automatically takes over to the top of the swing, and all those objectives above noted seem to happen automatically. And then he goes on with another super long paragraph here, and he comes out with a thing that he kind of gets close to ending. He says, a shorter version of my new swing thought that would seem to work for me is straight back over the plane of the target line and straight through forward on the plane of the target line. This is so simple that it is correct way to that if it is the correct way to perform the BUS, then I cannot figure out why you would not teach it to everyone as the right way to perform the BUS. The answer must be that there is something wrong with my logic, and if so, could you explain to me where I am wrong in the above theory and how to perform the BUS? Well, you're not wrong. In fact, I wrote this down. It's signed, and he's got a whole other paragraph after this, and he signed Wayne Wright, Sewickley, Pennsylvania. Well, I wrote down, Wayne Wright, you are not Wayne wrong. Okay? You are right. The lift it's all about the lift. And the lift, if I'm at addressing the ball, from the very second, the split nanosecond that I start that club back, I am lifting. My arm from the shoulder socket is lifting straight up. Now, many people, we've been taught in the past, take it back low, push the club away. Well, if you do that, you're going to get a two-piece swing, almost like the swing is going to be squared off a little bit. From this second, I'm lifting it up, just like as if I stood here and I'm just going to lift my arm up to skip a rock. And that, how many times have I used that as a drill? Skipping a rock, throwing a sidearm ball, a baseball sidearm, or hitting a forehand in tennis. All right? You just take the bat, you're just lifting. The lifting is coming from the arms. Now, naturally, there's a little rotation in my body, but from the second I'm swinging, both of my arms from my shoulders are lifting from the shoulder sockets. The hands, the arms, the upper arms, the shoulders, all the muscles in the neck, the shoulders and the back are all here to lift the arms up. And that only happens because you make it happen. Remember, lifting is going against gravity. Gravity is easy. Gravity pulls everything down. That's why the downswing becomes simple, much more simple once you get the club lifted. But I'm standing here, I'm just lifting up, and I'm lifting up like this so the swing is somewhat rounded. I'm never trying to have maximum extension, because maximum extension straightens the arms too much and it will pull the spine off the ball. I just naturally lift straight up again, just like flip it. Then I want to throw something, skip a rock or throw a baseball underhanded. All right? Just to here, and that's where I get to. As you notice, I've got that position locked in, because I could take my arm here and that can't reach, so my forward hand can't reach, so it's right here and there. So it's all about just lift. I just lift straight up and bang. And that's the key. So Wayne, you had it all. I can see you being worried about it, maybe thinking that you're wrong, but again, like I said, you stand here and you get this down, you can stay still, you can check your head out with your shadow and see that you can lift and keep your head still, and you do all that, you hit the bullseye too. All right? Well, that's it for the search for today. Right can feel wrong, but what's the proof that right is right? Making good hits, good solid consistent swings, hitting good solid consistent hits, hitting them to the correct place so that you can shoot those lower scores. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.